Hey guys, this is Billy Davidson with Davidson Pressure Washing Painting out of Hammond, Louisiana. Today we're working in the beautiful town of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A hot, sunny summer day. Just what we needed today for these concrete repairs. So I want to show y'all what we're doing here. This is some broken curbs that you'll see on most parking lots, and a lot of times they need to be repaired, and the real concrete finishers and major concrete contractors are really not interested out doing these small repairs. So we're going to show you a little bit about this, and this is real important to add to your services, especially if you're doing parking lot striping, power washing, or all types of other parking lot or exterior maintenance services. This is definitely something you could definitely add to your service list, and it can make you a lot of money. This pays extraordinarily well. Like I said, a lot of your commercial concrete contractors really don't want to fool with it, because it's not a $10 or $15 or $20,000 project. But nonetheless, this does pay very well. We charge about $100 per foot. The going rate is actually a little more than that, but we charge about $100. So this small section that you see right here, that's $200 to repair it. This section over here is another $100 to repair it as well. And we have multiple other sections like this in this parking lot. So what we've done here is basically farm it up. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use, rocks, something heavy just to hold your board up on this side. If you wanted to get really sophisticated with it, you can use a couple concrete screws in it, or something just to kind of hold that up. And the reason why you want to have these farms is when you put this concrete in here, you just want something there to sandwich it together and hold this form for about 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be very long. I've seen people use gallon water jugs to hold the form in place. The back side, again, doesn't have to be perfect. I just got an old broken piece of concrete right here to hold this in place. And the same thing over here. And basically you want to take a broom, sort of debris the area that you're working in. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just decent. Definitely don't have any vegetation or anything like that growing out of it. And what we're going to do, we're going to mix up some Portland concrete. It's a real fine finish concrete. It's not the heavy aggregate concrete that you'll find in Quikrete. This is something called Portland. It's rated at about 5,000 PSI, so it's very strong. It's a structural concrete, and again, as long as you're using a concrete that is designed for structural, then you're okay. It can be a mortar / structural type of concrete. You can buy it in the bags. It's about 80 pounds each bag. This section right here would probably take about 80 pounds of concrete. So this is one bag. It's about $10 per bag depending on what area you're in. So it's cheap, but again, it's very heavy, 80 pounds. So on this particular job, we had to get about 10 bags of it because we got a bunch of these little small sections. So we'll come back and we'll show y'all how we mix it, how we apply it, how we sort of kind of smooth it out and even it out inside of this form, and to leave a result of an unbroken curb, a repaired curb. So we'll be back shortly and show y'all those couple other clips. Y'all stay tuned and we'll see y'all soon. All right, so what we do, we're mixing up our mix now. And if you want to come over and take a look at it, I'll let you see how the consistency of it. It's basically sort of like a thick cake mix. And the reason why we want to do that is so if we do have to form something up by hand or sort of try to smooth something or mold it, it's going to actually stay. So a good rule of thumb is if it is sort of kind of stick to your stick a little bit like that, as you tilt it slowly, it's at the right consistency. So now if it falls off, it could be too dry. If it runs off, it's too wet. But kind of make it kind of sticky about like that. Of course, it'll come off when you bump it off the stick. But just remember, if it's kind of sticking, your concrete's got a very good consistency to it. Now, when you are stirring it, you want to make sure there's no dry spots in it, even on the side of the bucket. If you get, this is just an old paint scraper, paint stick, so you can kind of use that. Make sure there's no dry spots down at the bottom of the bucket. A good way of preventing that is adding some water to the bucket, then a little bit of your concrete powder, stirring it, kind of doing it in stages like that instead of putting a whole bunch of it in it at one time and then trying to mix it up. It's just too difficult. So try to do it in stages until you can get that consistency is absolutely perfect. Now, that being said, this is not going to stay perfect for very long, probably another 20 minutes, and then we're going to have to add more water to it and reconstitute it, is what we call it, with some more water, and then re-stir it. But other than that, that's the correct consistency, and we're going to go show y'all a little bit more how we do this, and so we'll be right back. All right, so we back here about to apply our mix to our broken curbs, as we was talking before. We got Chris right here. He is wearing hand protection, which is very important. We have about 30 pounds of our structural concrete mixed there in the bucket, with about 64 ounces, or 1/2 of 1 gallon, which a gallon is 128 ounces. So we got 64 ounces in there. Mixing is very important. You want it to have a mix consistency of almost like a cake mix, fairly thick. And again, you want to definitely wear your hand protection. And it doesn't take long. If you got a little plastic spatula or something you want to scoop it with and then apply it inside of your form, that'll be fine as well. I'll let y'all see a little more of it. Basically, once you get to the top of your form, you want to sort of kind of even it out to where your original curbing is. And the consistency is really important, again, because if it's too runny, it'll just want to flow out here on the parking lot or into the grass. You know, it'll try to seep out. So the consistency is real important to have it sort of kind of thick but still pliable, where you can mold it and shape it. Again, always keep everything wet, whether it's your tools that you're using. You know, have a bucket of fresh water nearby. Your gloves need to be wet. Good rule of thumb, anything that's going to touch your concrete that you mixed needs to be wet. As far as your tools, gloves, stirring sticks, anything like that, it helps out. And then once you finish with that specific tool, you can always drop it in that bucket of water, you know, especially if you're going to be working throughout the day, to preserve that tool. Because once this stuff dries, it's, no pun intended, it's hard as concrete. So can't hardly remove it once it's dried. It's a permanent fix to these broken curbs. So what we're going to do, I'm going to, once this, and again, once these forms, the concrete dries up enough where I can pull the forms off, I'm going to show you that and how it came out. Your working time on this, just because we have to mix it really thick, you have about 15 or 20 minutes working time. That's in, 80, 85, 90 degree temperatures. Of course, we're down here in a parking lot, so the ambient temperature is going to be one thing, but the surface temperature is much higher. I have measured some of these parking lots up as high as 115 degrees in the summertime. It's brutal. So, that being said, your concrete will set up a lot quicker. So you may not want to mix as much as you think you need. Always err on the side of caution on that. If you think you need a certain amount, mix a little bit less than that, because you can always hurry and mix up a little bit more. But if you got concrete hardening in your bucket, of course that bucket's got to be tossed after that, and so just one thing to keep in mind. So we're going to pull these forms off after he finishes forming these up and show y'all what this looks like, and again go over the pricing one last time to give you a little bit more specific idea of what you could charge for broken curbs, because it could be much higher than these little corners. So we'll be back in a little bit and we'll talk some more. Right here we are just kind of sort of molding this in, applying it into the area of concrete that is broken or missing. Of course, we did debris it first, like I was saying before. And if you got the right consistency with your concrete, you can put it in there and it'll stay put, and it dries fairly rapidly within 15-20 minutes, and it's a permanent fix to this problem. So again, this little area right here is probably a $50 or $60 repair, along with all the other sections. So you know, it really can add up quick. You can, even a small parking lot, you know, you have 10, 12, 15 feet of broken curb at $100, you know, per foot. Then you may have some of these smaller sections that might run $25 to $60 to repair those. And then you may have some joints or seams out in the parking lot that need to be repaired. And in one afternoon, you could quickly, you know, add up to a few $1,000s in repairs. And you know, like I said, these are permanent repairs, so you got to stand behind your work and do it properly and know what you're doing. But the end result is, in one afternoon, you can go out and make more than, you know, most people make all week, and more than some people make all month. You know, like if, you know, you came out here and profited, you know, the average parking lot, $2 grand, $2,200, $2,400 in an afternoon, or literally 4 to 6 hours in an afternoon, and you might have $100 to $200 in material depending on what you're doing. You know, that could be definitely life-changing if you had one or two of these little small projects each month. You know, just knowing what to do, how to do it, and having the courage to go step out there and do it could definitely be life-changing to you. So again, I wanted to thank everyone for watching these YouTube videos. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for all the subscriptions and all the views. If you're watching this on Facebook or some other platform, feel free to go out to YouTube and type in Davidson Pressure Wash and Painting. Find us on there, like us, subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. We are coming up on, I think, 500,000 views so far on the channel. Very exciting and unbelievable. Some of the people I talk to all around the world. Just talked to a guy out in Barbados. Talked to him out in the UK very often, out in Australia, Italy, Canada, of course, all over the United States, and making a lot of friends out there, and really excited about it. So yeah, so thanks for watching again, and if y'all have learned something, let me know. If there's something else y'all want to see, let me know that too. And I may put a couple shots in on some the curbing up front once we take the form up and clean it up, just show you how it looks. That way y'all can see the end result. So I'll talk to y'all soon, and hold on tight, and I'll put in a couple clips of the finished product.